Imagine living your entire life under the assumption that you are powerless, only to discover that the truth about humanity's origin has been hidden for centuries. What if the story of Adam, the first human, was far more profound than what we've been taught? What if Adam wasn't just a simple creation molded from clay, but a powerful, enlightened being whose existence evoked fear in those who sought to control humanity's destiny? This revelation could change everything we think we know about God, our spiritual potential, and our role in the universe. Today, we are going to explore this hidden narrative, one that was considered so dangerous that it was banned from the Bible and kept hidden from the public for thousands of years. The journey begins with an ancient text called On the Origin of the World, a manuscript that presents an entirely different version of the creation story. This text, part of the Gnostic teachings, was discovered in the mid-20th century, hidden away in the Nag Hammadi Library of Egypt. It had been buried for nearly 2 millennia, hidden because of its radical ideas that questioned the authority of the early Christian Church. These ideas not only challenge traditional religious beliefs, but also reveal insights into who we truly are and what we are capable of. In the 2nd century AD, a group known as the Gnostics emerged with a completely new vision of spirituality. They questioned the traditional religious narratives and introduced a startling idea. The God of the Bible, often seen as all-powerful and benevolent, was actually a flawed being called Yaldabaoth. This interpretation dramatically shifts our understanding of the divine. According to Gnostic teachings, Yaldabaoth is not the creator of all things, but a lower, malevolent entity who seeks to keep humanity in ignorance. In their view, this being, terrified of human potential, created physical bodies to trap our true spiritual selves. This radical version of Adam's story is not just a different creation myth. It challenges the very foundation of Christian theology. According to the Gnostics, Adam was not a passive, powerless being, but a figure of immense spiritual power. Before being encased in his physical form, Adam existed as a being of pure light, knowledge, and wisdom. Yaldabaoth and his followers, the Archons, feared Adam's potential. They knew that if Adam and, by extension, humanity, realized their true origins, they would become a threat to the powers that ruled the physical world. Now, before we dive deeper into this ancient knowledge, let me share something equally transformative. If you're ready to attract huge wealth effortlessly starting today, you don't want to miss this opportunity. Check out the link in the comments below to discover the shocking wealth secrets revealed by a rogue NASA scientist. This could be your chance to unlock the abundance you've always desired. Now, let's get back into the exploration. But what does this mean for us? And why was this knowledge suppressed? At the heart of the Gnostic teachings lies a profound question about the nature of humanity. The Gnostics rejected the simplistic view that humans are merely physical beings, a collection of flesh, bones, and organs designed to live for a finite period of time. They argued that such a view, prevalent in many religious traditions, misses the deeper reality of our existence. According to the Gnostics, we are far more than what we see on the surface. Our true essence is spiritual, eternal, and divine. The physical world, with all its limitations and distractions, is merely a facade, a false reality created to obscure this deeper truth. In Gnostic belief, this physical world was not created by a benevolent God, but by a lower, imperfect entity named Yaldabaoth. This being, often referred to as the Demiurge, is a jealous and controlling figure who fashioned the material world as a kind of prison for humanity. Yaldabaoth's goal was to keep us unaware of our true divine origins. According to this belief, he feared humanity's potential, knowing that if we ever realized our true spiritual power, we would break free from his control and transcend the limitations of the physical realm. This trap, as the Gnostics described it, was not a physical cage, but a more insidious kind of imprisonment, a prison of ignorance. Yaldabaoth and his followers, known as the Archons, engineered this world to constantly distract and deceive us, to keep us focused on material pursuits and worldly concerns. Our physical bodies, in this context, are seen as vessels that obscure our spiritual essence, keeping us tethered to a cycle of birth, suffering, and death, all while preventing us from awakening to the divine spark within us. The physical body, according to Gnostic teachings, is like a heavy suit of armor that shields us from our own spiritual light. We are born into this world with no memory of our true origins, and as we grow, we become more and more engrossed in the demands of the material world. The need for food, shelter, and survival occupies much of our attention, leaving little room for the pursuit of spiritual knowledge. Over time, we forget that we are not just bodies wandering aimlessly through life. We begin to identify with the material world so completely that we lose sight of the fact that we are, at our core, spiritual beings temporarily housed in physical form. This spiritual amnesia is not accidental. The Gnostics believed that it was part of Yaldabaoth's grand design to ensure that humanity remained ignorant of its true nature. He created the physical world and filled it with distractions, desires for wealth, power, and pleasure, that keep us focused on external things rather than internal truths. The more we become attached to the material world, the harder it becomes to awaken to the spiritual reality that lies within us. In this way, Yaldabaoth and the Archons maintained their control, keeping humanity locked in a state of spiritual sleep. But why was this knowledge so fiercely suppressed by the early church? The Gnostics did not just present an alternative view of the universe, they posed a direct threat to the religious and political structures of their time. In the early centuries of Christianity, the Church was not just a spiritual institution, but a powerful force shaping the social and political order of the world. It sought to establish a unified narrative about God, humanity, and salvation, one that reinforced the authority of the Church as the sole mediator between God and humanity. The Gnostic teachings, with their emphasis on personal spiritual knowledge and their rejection of the material world as a divine creation, undermined this authority. Gnosticism proposed that the God worshipped by mainstream Christianity, the creator of the physical world, was not the highest God at all, but a lower, flawed entity. This radical claim threatened to destabilize the Church's teaching that the material world, and by extension the Church itself, was part of God's divine plan for humanity. The early Christian Church feared that if people began to question the authority of the God they worshipped, they would also begin to question the authority of the Church. Gnosticism offered a path to spiritual enlightenment that did not require the Church as an intermediary. Instead, it taught that each individual had the potential to awaken to their own divine nature through direct, personal experience of gnosis, spiritual knowledge. This individualistic approach to spirituality was seen as dangerous because it empowered people to seek truth outside the established religious structures. If people could find their own connection to the divine, the Church's control over the spiritual narrative would weaken. In response to this perceived threat, the Church moved swiftly to condemn Gnostic teachings. Gnostic texts were labeled as heretical, and their followers were persecuted. Many Gnostic writings were destroyed, and the movement was pushed underground. The suppression of Gnosticism was not just a matter of religious disagreement. It was a deliberate effort to erase an entire way of thinking that challenged the prevailing power structures. By eliminating these alternative views, the Church solidified its own position as the sole authority on matters of faith and salvation. Yet, despite these efforts, the Gnostic texts survived in secret. Hidden away for centuries, they re-emerged in the mid-20th century with the discovery of the Nag Hammadi Library in Egypt. This remarkable collection of ancient writings included many previously unknown Gnostic works, offering a glimpse into a forgotten spiritual tradition that had been suppressed for nearly 2,000 years. Among these texts was On the Origin of the World, which presents a strikingly different version of the creation story, one that calls into question everything we thought we knew about God, humanity, and the universe. The recent discovery of these ancient manuscripts has reignited interest in Gnostic teachings, shedding light on a hidden truth that has the potential to change the way we see ourselves and the universe. These texts reveal that the material world is not all there is, and that within each of us lies the potential to awaken to a higher spiritual reality. This knowledge was suppressed not because it was false, but because it was dangerous to those in power, dangerous because it empowers individuals to break free from the control of external authorities and discover the divine truth within themselves. In this way, the Gnostic message is one of hope and liberation. It tells us that we are not powerless beings subject to the whims of fate, but spiritual beings with the potential to transcend the limitations of the physical world. By seeking gnosis, by turning inward, and reconnecting with our divine spark, we can begin to unravel the illusions that have kept us trapped in ignorance for so long. The knowledge that was once hidden away is now available to us once again, offering a path to spiritual freedom for those who are willing to seek it. So what exactly did the Gnostics teach about our divine origins, and how does this story of Adam fit into it? At the core of Gnostic belief is the idea that humans carry a spark of divinity, a fragment of a higher, transcendent reality. While Yaldabaoth created the material world, this higher realm exists beyond physical matter and is home to the true source, or God. Adam, in this narrative, symbolizes humanity's original connection to that higher source. He is a being of pure light, capable of wisdom and insight far beyond the material realm. But Yaldabaoth and the Archons feared this. They knew that if Adam ever discovered his true identity, he could overthrow their control over the physical world. To keep Adam in the dark, Yaldabaoth created a physical body for him, a cage for his soul. Adam was made to believe that he was nothing more than flesh and bone, a mere mortal bound by the limitations of the material world. This is a story not just about Adam, but about all of us. We too are beings of light, trapped in a physical existence that distracts us from our true nature. But how can we awaken to this truth? How can we reclaim our divine spark and break free from the illusions that have held us captive for so long? The Gnostics believed that the key to awakening lies in a concept known as gnosis, which means knowledge, not just intellectual understanding, but a deep personal realization of the divine spark within. According to their teachings, gnosis is the process of lifting the veil of illusion and recognizing our true nature as spiritual beings. This knowledge was considered dangerous because it empowered individuals to transcend the physical world and the control of the Archons. The symbolism of the Tree of Knowledge in the Garden of Eden is central to this awakening. In the traditional story, Adam and Eve's eyes are opened after consuming the forbidden fruit, leading them to understand the nature of good and evil. For the Gnostics, this moment represents more than a simple act of disobedience. It symbolizes the awakening of spiritual consciousness. By consuming the fruit, Adam and Eve became aware of their true nature, beings capable of wisdom and insight. This is why Yaldabaoth and the Archons fear knowledge. They know that when humanity awakens to its spiritual potential, their control will crumble. In our everyday lives, distractions abound. The demands of work, family, and society can pull us away from the deeper truths of our existence. The Gnostics taught that these distractions are not just coincidental, they are part of the grand design created by Yaldabaoth and his Archons. These forces thrive on our ignorance, keeping us trapped in a cycle of fear, doubt, and confusion. But the Gnostics also taught that we have the power to break free. To achieve gnosis, we must look beyond the material world and its limitations. This is not an easy journey, but it is a necessary one for those who seek true spiritual freedom. The Gnostics believed that by embracing spiritual knowledge, we can lift the veil of illusion and see the world for what it truly is, a temporary material construct that serves as a stepping stone to higher realms of existence. As we begin to understand our true nature, we can also begin to recognize the forces that seek to keep us in the dark. The archons are not just mythological beings. They represent the spiritual forces that cloud our judgment and prevent us from seeing the truth. These forces instill self-doubt and reinforce our attachment to the material world. But the Gnostics offer a solution. By seeking knowledge and cultivating our inner wisdom, we can break free from these chains. The journey to Gnosis is not a solitary one. As we awaken to our true nature, we have the potential to inspire others and transform the collective consciousness. This is why the Gnostics' teachings have endured through the centuries. They offer hope to those who feel lost or overwhelmed by the chaos of life, reminding us that we are more than just physical beings. We are divine entities with the power to shape our own reality. In conclusion, the hidden truth about Adam is not just a story about one man. It is a story about all of us. We are beings of light, temporarily trapped in a material world designed to keep us ignorant of our true potential. But by seeking knowledge, by embracing the divine spark within, we can transcend the limitations of this world and reclaim our spiritual birthright. The journey to Gnosis is not easy, but it is a path worth pursuing. Thank you for watching, and if you're ready to embark on this journey of self-discovery, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Together, we can lift the veil of illusion, awaken to our true potential, and explore the mysteries of the universe. Keep seeking the light within.